So, my friend's just dropped off the boost pipe, so I'm just going to stick this on before I figure out the wiring situation. So, let's get this boost pipe on. Isn't that beautiful? God, it looks going to look so mean. Okay, let's open up these bits. Oh, that's a little bit bent, that gasket. That'd be fine. Depending what OS 105 you're using, the HZ or the HZR. The HZ, which is what we're using on this one, doesn't have a regulator, a pressurized regulated fuel system on it. So for that reason, we're going to put in this brass nipple, and we will put it in there and run a pipe from there to the back of the tank. If you do have a regulated version, the HZR, then you would put in this plug here and put it in there, and you'll, on the HZR, you'll have a pipe at the bottom of the crank of the engine that will come out there into the tank, and that will pressurize the tank. But in this scenario, the exhaust will be pressurizing it. And yeah, just got to put on the fuel clamp, and that'll be it. Okay, so part of this YouTube channel, I'm gonna, as well as builds, I'm gonna also not cut out bits that I've done wrong. And there was something I completely forgot to do before I put the boom on, and that was to do these bolts up. You have to get a tool. Obviously, you've got to loosen the towel now, so I'm gonna have to unclamp the towel. There's a screw. Yeah, I'm gonna have to unclamp this bolt here and the rear towel tension grip as well. And you have to put a tool in here, pull it back that way as much as you can, and then do up the screws. It's a bit fiddly, but I thought, I'm not going to edit this out because I'm not a robot, I'm human. Humans do make mistakes. So I've now done the engine belt tension, so they're all Loctited. I've also done the boom, I haven't videoed that, so I've redone that, and I've just put in the sensor, the governor sensor, so that's on there. You don't have to take off the landing gear to get to the screw on that side. You can use a handy Allen key. You need about a 1/2 mil gap between the back plate and the sensor using this Spectrum governor sensor. So let's get back on the landing gear side. I'm just going to show you where I've routed the, well, try and show you. So I've routed this pipe, and I've got 2 zip ties there, just so it doesn't go into the towel belt and the tensioner. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Oh, there we go. And yeah, just got it coming down there into there. It's time to start cutting wires and crimping. So the 2 aileron servos, the cables, I'm going to run them this side. On the other side, I'm going to run the V-bar back up, the throttle servo, and the telemetry for the V back up. That'll run along here. I'm going to double check. I'm not going to video it. I'm just going to video once it's all done, because it's very fiddly and it's quite time consuming. Yeah, if I feel like it, I'm going to test having the battery on here and make sure it's not going to be too chunky, because I do like shrink wrapping, put heat shrink on all these all the way through. I've got to run some extensions as well, so cool, that's hot. So there we go. You can obviously twist these together, but I don't like twisting cables together. I think this is a better, neater, nicer way of doing it, personally. Looks something like that. I'm just going to put some heat shrink there and there, just to tidy it up. So it'll be something like that. I'm going to put the EC3s on the end, right at the end. So yeah, there'll be loads of shrink wrap, heat shrink, because here to make this look neater, all at the end. But yeah, that's it so far. So from previous experience on my other raw nitro, when you come to servicing the engine and you take off the main bolts to take out the engine, I had cables going through here, and it's a right pain in the backside because you have to untangle it all and rip off all the heat shrink. So I'm going to cut all these short and have the connector and the join here, and you'll be able to disconnect them, and it'll just make things a lot easier to service. So I'm going to start cracking on with that now. So I've been making cables and extending them. Look at the mess. So yeah, here's where I've cut the backup and the throttle servo. I'm just making an extra long telemetry cable. Made an extra long XGlow cable. Yeah, and then I'm gonna see if I can tuck it all in and heat shrink it here. See what it looks like in a bit. Welcome back, people. So I've been very, very busy with work. So I've just been spending an hour or two after work every day just doing the cabling. I haven't videoed any of it really, just because I just needed to get my head stuck down. But I'll just show you how I've done it. So what I've done here, like I said earlier in the video, it's a pain. I've already got a raw nitro, and when you come to service an engine, you can take this whole block off with the engine already in the mount. And it's a pain on my one because you have to take off all this cabling all the way along, because I haven't got any connecting blocks here. So I put some connection link blocks here, so I can just, well, not me, the owner of this heli can, when they come to the winter servicing or whenever, they can just cut the heat shrink and just disconnect the cables from here, and then this will stay here, and then they can just pull the engine mount off. But yeah, there's my cable that I made up. I've just got to put, this is the stuff I use. Just put it around all the connections so nothing can come off in flight. So just got a couple more bits to do, and then she will be done. So I've just used this stuff. It takes about 12 hours to properly cure, and there's the top two that have been glued in. Lovely jubbly. I might as well show you how I set up the pitch and the head and everything. So the swash shouldn't be that far out because we have done the centre servo directly with we've centred the servos with the little computer thingy majiggy. So I'm just trying to find a, where are you? Swashplate leveler. Let's get this powered up. Okay, so edit model setup, and right, get onto this bit, and then get this Swashplate leveling tool.
Emergency power connected.
Shut up. And fill it underneath. It's got a little magnet on it. If you haven't got enough room here, you're just going to have to increase the pitch. So all we're looking for is to make sure these bolts are at the same distance between all three. Don't know if you can see, but the elevator one, hang on, let's just check both ailerons. Okay, the ailerons are out a little bit as well. So all you've got to do is just adjust it on these settings. Just adjust it so left aileron, elevator, forward. Let's bring the collective down. Okay, right. So they're all virtually the same now. It's brilliant, this little tool. So next, get yourself a pitch gauge. I use the Steam one. Quite hard to get hold of actually. I've got mine on eBay a few years back, but they're not on eBay at the moment. Really good, really reliable. So, and what I like about it also is that you can have it that way or that way. It's great. Okay, so we need to set this up. So I'm going to use a servo, this elevator servo, just to level it out. And just see, it's only 0.2 degrees. I always set the pitch from the front blade. Never set the pitch like that. Just always have it as if and measure it on the nose of the helicopter. So I'll set the center for 0 degrees, and then I will move on to the tracking. Then I'll move on to the maximum and minimum pitch. Make sure this is aligned and straight with the head. I'm just eyeballing it, looking down there. That's close enough. Then align this end with the boom, so it's dead in centre. And what we're looking for is 0 degrees. So that's out a little bit. So you just need to adjust it on the collective up or down. So just going down till it gets to 0. Okay, that's as close as we're going to get it. So now I'm just going to check the tracking. So that means checking the other side. Okay, let's see where we're at on here. Where we're at. Oh, 0.8. So what I'm going to have to do now is not adjust this one, adjust the one on the other side until we get 0 or near about 0. And what I'll do after this, I will then put it on the other one. I'll go back and just double check everything. Try and get it exactly the same. That will do. Right, let's check the other end. Oh, this pitch gauge is nearly flat. That needs adjusting a little bit. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's go back and set maximum and minimum. So all I'm doing is going all the way negative and then adjust. Do not want 14.5 degrees. So let's bring that back. So the person that's flying this isn't a 3D pilot. So we do not need 14 degrees. 12 should be fine. And we go all the way up on the pitch. And bring that down as well. Whoopsie. Okay. Then what we're going to do cyclic calibration. So we're going to click check, and we're going to look for 8 degrees, and that is way off. So we're just going to decrease the calibration till we get to 8 degrees. There we go. So that's 8 degrees. I'm just going to set the endpoints. Make sure, first of all, when you're setting the throttle, that your idle is on 0. Okay. You want to turn the collective control on so you can have direct throttle. Set your endpoints. That's the minimum. And the maximum. Now, just to show you how the idle works. So this is how I like to do it anyway. Some people do it differently, but I really like this way. I just think it's the safest way when you've got a Nitro. The last thing you want to do is start up a Nitro and it's on full throttle. So I'll set an idle. Normally it's around 10 to 20. So what you're going to see now, so when I move the idle up, it increases the tick over basically, and then when you use the kill switch, it goes from idle position to kill. So that's that. Now let's just set some pitch curves. Collective curve, edit bank 1. So what we're going to use, remember this isn't for a 3D pilot, this heli. Going on -5. Normally you just, if you're doing a 3D setup, you just go straight linear curve, straight curve, -12, -13, -13.5 to plus the same. So this is a nice hovering pitch, what I like to do. So -5. Then I'll go to the mid stick position. It's normally around 4 degrees for lift. But we'll do that in flight just to get it spot on perfect. Then the maximum pitch, I'm just going to bring down to 10. And then all what's left to do now is just smooth out these lines just so it's nice and curved. That's how I do it anyway. And then when you move on to bank 2, then you can do your full -12 +12. On V8, I love V8, it's really simple. So you can, if we do reset flight values, you can set how you want to fly a normal scale. So I'm doing scale at the moment, and all that does is basically sets all the parameters for scale, even though expo is very low on there. Agility, so the agility settings all the way down, so you don't want much servo movement on the swash. Yeah, if you change that to 3D Pro flying, for example, the agility is really high. Right, let's get the canopy on. Looks the nuts. I'm just going to show you how to program the XGlow onto V-Bar. It doesn't have to be XGlow, you can use these on other glows. It's the same principle, you have to use macro cell. So let's just plug this in. She's alive. So scroll across, model setup, scroll down, macro cell setup. And you want to go to edit macro cells, and depending on what channel your glow is plugged into, mine's in auxiliary 1, so I've selected auxiliary 1. You want it on a 3-level switch. Mine's programmed for switch option 2, and lower -100, center -100, output higher +100. And that is it. It's simple with macro cells. Yeah, love it.